It's because I always defend.
Well, it's because
Are, are,
nobody's.
are you feeling a bit defensive about
It's
that?
because nobody has uh fiddled with it. Um, you've given nobody. You've given no one any reason to uh push that one down. They're much more about your right now, at least, much more about your superior versus your mundane stuff. Being personable versus being the thinker, or as I like to call it, the Flash versus the Batman statistic.
Mundane, superior? What
Mun-
what are those?
Flash is, yeah, you wouldn't think of him as being mundane, but he's the anyway. All right, so I don't want to do. I don't. Well, okay. I don't want to do a flashback, but with that said, it would be really, really mean not to do a flashback, considering how there's probably some people who would be clamoring to summarize what went down last time. So, who wants to do the previously on? Unless we just make everybody watch Dave's video, which works for
We'll put it this way. Who wants to get rid of a condition?
Yeah, who wants to clear a condition? I think Concord did it fairly recently, which is too bad because he's the one that really.
No, I'm fine. I'm good. I don't need a clear condition. I'm great.
I actually only have one now, so I'm good.
Somebody find that meme of the guy trying to hold like 5 balls at the same time and smiling, and they keep falling out of his hands. Label them with the 5 conditions, and no. Anyway, Ghost Girl's pretty much fine. Okay, somebody speak up. Or we can skip it and go straight to the morning after hangover.
I'm good either way.
So this is the first time I've been laden with so many conditions. I'm just going to kind of swim in them.
Okay.
With the 2 thumbs up emerging from the
water.
murky water.
This is fine. All right. Well, if nobody wants, Margie, did you say you wanted to do it, or you didn't care one way or the other? All right. Well, we're just gonna jump right. I guess we'll just jump right in then. Speaking of wallowing in their conditions, we're gonna start with. Oh. What, Jason? What time was it when you had the conversation with the Alicia Travel
agent?
Travel agent Alicia?
Travel Alicia.
Actually, the timestamp is on the video. But it's 11 something. It's by the time. Let's see, because he was at the press conference, and he's got the conversation with Waters and all of that stuff.
I'm just wondering if it was if he does it that night, or if he does it.
Oh yeah,
like
it was definitely that night.
Okay.
It starts with the whole, wow, that was really just kind of a sucky way to end the day.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, it's that same day.
You're probably
Absolutely.
okay. So yeah, you're probably the first thing that happens. I'm trying to think of who would be doing stuff that night. So to sum up, Ghost Girl was going to look up a couple of people at the graveyard.
It did take place after Link
had called
looking for a couch.
Right. So Link is looking for a couch and he's packing stuff up. Ghost Girl is looking up people at the cemetery, or a cemetery, any cemetery. we're gonna say that in this evening, Adam is not functional.
Oh, Adam is probably like crying his eyes out in his bed at the moment.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're gonna start him in the morning. Harry was cruising the city in the way that only speedsters really can. And yeah, I think Jason's the one that makes sense. So where do you do this? You just like open up a monitor right there? Do you go down to the
No. We went down. I wanted to watch it on the big screen in the conversation pit.
Right. Silly me for thinking anything otherwise.
Well, hell, we've got a conversation pit. We should use it.
Yeah.
And there it is.
And there it is. Let's get ourselves over to the and projection TV. Very nice. All right. So
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
I was gonna say, where else would he take travel agent Alicia for a date?
It's like a movie out. Okay. So we're down here, and the panels are actually cutting back and forth in this particular issue between you getting down here and pulling up the file and random sort of in that sort of matte fraction style of you guys are having a conversation and you can see the word bubbles, but you can't make out the words in them because the conversation is not really important. It's more like what you guys are doing than anything else. So, prepping that up, you sitting, getting back up when you realize that she's not going to sit, her sitting to demonstrate that she can, you sitting anyway, realize you're sitting too close, moving across the couch.
Right. And she sits with that weird kind of, the sitting in an MMR where the it doesn't quite work with the
not really touching the
seats. Not really touching the seats or touching them too much.
Using the sit emote like on furniture
yes.
that doesn't actually have a sit function, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, she has clipping issues.
That's really funny. Of all the issues that all of you have, clipping is really the least of your worries.
Condition, clipping.
And we're cutting between that and watching Link kind of bundle up his stuff. Harry, we're also seeing some scenes of you around the city. So when you're like cruising, what are you doing? Like, what are you helping random cats out of trees, giving directions to old Dominican ladies? Like, what are you doing?
I mean, of course there will be the quick passing by, but it's not really stopping for.
You're not really stopping, but are you doing like random acts of helpfulness? Not really heroism per se, but
Please tell me you are photobombing people as they're trying to take selfies.
It's awesome.
Of course.
Photobomb, Halcyon City. All of it. Like photobomb them when like trying to take their pictures in front of Freedom Girl and like the main plaza, like in front of the statue and stuff. You like, ha, like, and the victory thing right behind them, and then gone again. So that's kind of what you're doing. We get a few shots of Charlotte, like actually going around from gravestone to gravestone, peering at names. Link, just before he gets in the car, sending another text message and seeing Harry get that text message, indicating that Link is on the way to the Gale estate. I have trouble picturing anything but the estate from Dallas in my head, and I don't know why.
I think a speedster would have a ranch style.
You think so?
Yeah. More fun.
I suppose. Sprawl.
It's very modern style with paperweights all over.
Lots of paperweights.
Paperweights.
Lots of paperweights.
Lots of paperweights. Lots of
Clipboards.
Electronics.
Magnetic clipboards. Clipboards by themselves would not be. What did we get here? Oh wait, cancel. Gotta see what we're doing here. So many links. Oh, the South Fork. Really? We even have the South Fork? I gotta look at this now. All right, well, I'm not gonna look at that right now because it doesn't want to open, weirdly. Okay. We loop circle back around to Jason, who's getting this thing going, and the video that's coming up, it looks like security camera footage, so like frame a second type thing. Little bit of skipping around and stuff, and there's this big device like a hacked together thing, roughly the same scope and size and shape of the central module in the TARDIS. But okay. I mean, we on the dimensions, a little bit bigger than that.
TARDIS console, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit bigger than that. Somewhere between that and like the furnace in an old building, like, you know, big enough to like have to lean way out or even take a couple steps around to talk to somebody who's on the other side, kind of thing. Like you can't just talk through the modules, you know, and see somebody on the other side, kind of stuff. Clearly hastily assembled, your dad's tech, other tech, all kinds of stuff cobbled together. Rusty's there. And they're moving they're moving. You can't decide between describing it as frantically or hurriedly. And you find yourself even kind of saying, would you describe that as frantic or hurriedly? And I think frantic? No, I'd say hurriedly.
Urgent.
Very urgently. Urgent. They're moving with a real urgency. There we go.
With a purpose. Let's move with a purpose. That's what Rusty always used to say.
Yeah, and they're definitely doing that. They're definitely working with I mean, it is the body language that you've seen many times from your dads. We need to fix this. We need to finish this before the end of the world kind of rush. And the fact that you can read that particular body language off of him says a lot about how your life has been. And you can make certainly heads or tails out of the tech. You find, you know, your familiarity with it is actually enough that even on the screen you can actually kind of figure out. And it's a lot of borrowed tech. You can see some stuff, certainly stuff that he's captured, you would imagine, based on the fact that it's definitely not his. There's some chin stuff in there. There's really quite a bit of different things. And Travalisha points out as well, like where the chin technology is at, sort of in mild asides kind of thing. There's some electromagnetic elements to it. Actually, quite a lot of it seems to be based around that. You can't help but think of that device that Alicia made off with from the. It's not there, obviously, in this thing, but it's definitely in that same zip code, technologically speaking, as the thing that she took out of the warehouse.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And the time and date stamp correspond with the day everything to Kerflooey. So apparently this is security footage from wherever the heck they were. You had heard that it was on the front lawn kind of the White House, but it doesn't seem to be. It might certainly be near there. it would have to have been based on uh, the crater of, divot out of the front lawn. Maybe it's underground. It kind of feels like it's underground given what you're seeing. And you're watching this for probably a minute with all this thing, and they're calling out to each other. They move frequently off frame a number of times, and it's almost a kind of a. This may not be a bit that was in Keystone Cops, but it reminds me of the sort of thing, or even a Marx Brothers kind of a deal, where you see when Chin comes into frame the first time, and it's your dad has gone around the device towards the back as Chin comes onto screen, and the device is actually obscuring your view of him. And Rusty's has gone off screen entirely, the other direction, he's gone to go get some more stuff or whatever. And Chin sort of immediately moves to the device and is doing something. And as he's moving left, your dad is also moving left on the backside. So you actually get a shot where they're working on the thing simultaneously from opposite sides. On the left and the right of the thing as the security camera is there, and you're it's like that whole silent movie thing where you're like, oh my god, just notice that they're there.
Wait, what? Yeah, right. Wait, yeah,
exactly.
They're
whether they're working together or not working together, and that's your immediate assumption, is that they're working against each other and don't even realize that the other one's in the room at the moment because the device is absolutely obscuring their vision. And they continue to rotate and are doing things until Chin's rotated out of view. He's back behind the thing. Your dad's back is to the camera, and you see Rusty coming back in, and he's hauling some pulling rather like a big cart, almost like one of the where you can lay the hand truck down, and it's got 4 wheels on the back side of it, so it can be like a pulling cart, and it's got another big heavy, looks like a generator or something like that, and he's pulling it back towards, so you see his face towards the camera as he's lugging this thing in, and he's backing it towards your dad, and as he's going, the machine comes into the thing, and you see that the other end is being pushed, and you think for a second it's a mirror, and then it turns and it's Chin's bodyguard pushing the cart from the other side. And Rusty says something under his, just sort of a 2 or 3 word thing to your dad, and your dad turns around and he grabs the other end kind of near where the bodyguard is and starts wheeling it towards this thing, towards the major device. He's patting his pockets and looking around. He's got a cable in one hand and he's patting a pocket. He's looking, as he is always looking, for his voltmeter. Can't find it. He's muttering to himself. Rusty's putting his hands up like, you're always forgetting this thing. Chin walks around, pulls out one, hands it to your dad, who just doesn't really even, he kind of glances at it, glances at him, nods, does this, and they continue to work on the thing. And you watch this for probably another, and they're all moving with that same urgency of purpose as they're doing all this stuff and checking the time. And there's more and more frenetic energy, more and more kind of shouting, and you're seeing a lot of distortions. The machine's not really running yet, but you're seeing a lot more distortions on the video, like interference, electromagnetic possibly, but something. There's some kind of wind building up in this underground space that you're seeing things kind of moving around, and there's more shouting. They're working against what looks like almost a storm, except again, it still feels like it's underground. A lot of crazy, a lot of this crazy activity, jumping, last minute hacks and jury rigging and so forth to get things to go. There's also what appears to be some sort of like gunfire or something like that, and you can see from off screen. And Rusty and the bodyguard are sort of dealing with that in one direction, while you see Chin and your dad continuing to work on this thing, and they shout over their shoulders, or your dad does. Chin doesn't really bother. Your dad shouts over his shoulder, and you can see it really clearly. It's like, we're ready. And he turns back to the board and he looks at.
I've lost about the last 15 seconds of what you said, Joyce.
That sucks. What was the last thing you heard? Can you hear me now?
We're ready.
Joyce.
So is Dave the only one that can't hear me?
I can hear you.
No,
fine.
you just cut out again that last time. You were cutting a little bit for me, but after
All right.
Dave said I can't hear you, then I couldn't hear you other than.
Well, I stopped talking right then.
Oh, okay.
Dave, what was the last thing you could hear?
There was gunfire.
Okay.
Byron and Chin are still working, and then someone turned to someone, and
Okay.
and then it all went.
Your dad says something to Chin says something to him. You see your dad, you can actually read his lips shouting back over his shoulder, we're ready. He turns back to Chin, and they're kind of, they fire up the generator thing, whatever that is. Look each other in the eye. There's sort of like that manly nod thing. They shake hands and they move to either. Again, they're working in parallel in that same shot where they're on either end of this device, kind of on either side of it, and they're shouting over this wind and the turmoil and the gunshots still spanging off of various things, and sparks coming where there probably shouldn't be any because of this. And they're shouting, and you can actually see your dad say, shout 3, Chin shout 2, he shouts 1, and they both throw a switch and everything goes white.
They both shout what?
They both shout what?
No, they were shot. They were.
What was the last? What was the last thing you heard?
No, they shouted 3, 2, 1.
They throw the switch and
the switches, and everything fades to white.
And everything goes white. And then we just have, screen goes, back to blank. Travel issue does not say anything.
Well, that's okay, because Jason isn't saying anything for a long time. That's not what they told me happened.
They who?
Well, I mean, the reports that came back over what had happened to Dad, and it sounded like there was some sort of battle, and there was some sort of.
You mean the official story was that your dad was fighting a bad guy rather than what really happened? That sounds really familiar. Where did I just hear something like that? It sounds really, really familiar. Oh, God, it's right on the tip of my tongue. I don't have a tongue. But if I had a tongue, it would be right there on the tip of it. Where was it? You doing something? Oh, I know.
But if that was all some cover story put together by Aegis, why is Agent Waters giving this to me to see? And then wanting to hear my reaction before I talk to anyone.
It is very unusual because I know that Agent Waters has never done anything in the past that wasn't entirely in line with what Aegis' official policies are. This is extremely atypical from his normal behavior. You're right. No, wait, the opposite of that. What's the opposite of that?
You've developed quite a snarky streak.
Maybe it's the room.
Artificial Intelligence Agent 79. But that's probably in keeping with your
the material you're providing me.
Yeah.
the targets that you're painting on the side of every balloon
Okay,
that you float?
let me think here for a moment, because there's a lot of moving parts here. There's, the official story versus what I've just seen, and who knows which. There's the whole my dad and Chin working together, which.
But they've done that before.
Yeah, which they've done
In extremis.
on a couple of rare in extreme occasions in the past. And then there's this whole, okay, so what's going on that we can't see? What's this whole wind, and who's shooting at them?
Indeed.
Okay, I am going to make a copy of this video.
Is shooting at them.
I'm sorry, what?
Aegis is shooting at them.
Is it Aegis? Is it Verkovian agents? Is it Hydra? I don't know.
Verkovia wouldn't have existed yet at this point.
Well, Jason hasn't quite
on that
put those
day.
puzzle pieces together yet. As far as we know.
As far as you know, yes.
Maybe they already popped through the dimensional barrier, and they're trying to keep the dimensional barrier from getting closed. Okay, I want to make a copy of this video. Deep encryption with a time. Okay, I'm going to channel all of my inner, having watched way too many Jason Bourne, Mission Impossible type movie things. Okay, I want to make a copy of this, encrypted, buried underneath, a name like, Picnic 1997, file labels. But I want to do two things. I want to set up a timed email with, I don't know that I can send a copy. It's probably too large to send a copy, but send the link to the video.
You have your own version of Dropbox. Like Quill has its own. The company has designed its own version of Dropbox. Shoebox. It's not even. No, it's not commercially available. It's just used. Yeah.
Yeah. No, we call it that internally.
Yeah, Qbox.
So with a link, and in 7 days, if I haven't turned this off, I want a copy to go to. I want a copy to go to Leo, and I want a copy to go to Harry.
Okay.
And in 14 days, I want a copy to go to Vixen.
Ooh. Vixen.
Not Vixen.
Hyena.
Who? Hyena. That's it. Yes. Sorry.
Yeah. No, close enough.
Hero, female.
I got what you were.
Animal themed. Right.
I got where you were going. Batman. Sort of. More like Rorschach, but sure.
Well, when it comes to unveiling conspiracies, there's worse folks I could send it to.
Yeah, that's true.
So 7 for the first two, and 14 days for the latter.
Okay.
Hopefully the computer won't have been disassembled by Aegis or whoever by then, but that's the best I can do.
I don't know. Aegis has been sitting on this Aegis has been sitting on this for a really long time, so.
Yeah, but if they discover that I have it, that might change their calculus.
That's true. Very true. And while you're doing that,
I wanted to go to Harry because.
Go ahead.
I want a copy to go to Harry because he's got contacts in through his family with
the big supers.
The big supers.
Right.
And that might be important. I want it to go to Leo because Leo
is a vengeful son of a bitch.
Doesn't give a damn about any of the.
Well, yeah, he's not going to be politically correct about it, so to speak. He'll do something about it, I suspect. And if I'm not around to stop it, maybe that's exactly what I want to have happen. And then a copy, and then even more extreme if that hasn't been stopped. And I'll include a note in both of their messages that in 7 more days this is going to go to Hyena. Then Hyena will definitely have an impact. So. Yeah, I kind of look at Travel Agent Alicia,
who's still looking at the blank screen. I have to wonder if I know about this.
That's a really interesting question.
Yeah. You had your other AI working on whether or not what the odds were on your father still being alive. Do you want him to have this data? I can send a copy over to him. Or you should probably send it over. He's not talking to me for some reason.
Yeah.
I like how you just sort of file it over. Yeah, that makes sense. Does it? Does it really?
Yes, it does.
That your AIs are having snits with each other.
If it's just like, "Hi, this is Alicia Chin. Can you please talk with me about this research project you're on?"
Right. No. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, but with instructions that this is not to be
disseminated.
This is not to be disseminated. Read and shred kind of a thing. She just said something really interesting that I'm trying to think of.
I wonder if I know about this.
Yeah. Man, now I'm tempted to if I had an email address for Alicia Chin.
Oh, please. You probably have a half dozen email addresses that would eventually get to Alicia Chin.
Yeah, well, that's the problem.
They're monitored, but.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't want it to go to a mailbox that Aegis is watching, or a mailbox that.
Well, that doesn't. Just because they're watching it doesn't mean they wouldn't. They can access it.
Travel Agent.
Yeah, but an email from me to Alicia Chin with a big file attachment.
So I find it really, really, really telling that he's even considering trying to reach out with this to Alicia.
Actually, you know how to get it. You know how you get it to her. You know how you get it to her.
Well, I go ahead. I have somebody. Actually, Catherine had something she was starting to say, and I talked to her.
Oh, Catherine, what were you going to say?
I mean, who knows? Travel Agent Alicia could be sending her all the info.
Well, that's a question I'm pondering whether I want to ask.
I'm sure that Travel Agent Alicia could set up a vacation for real Alicia and have it in the pillow.
I think it's fascinating.
If you're ever thinking this, any email you send to anybody will reach Alicia.
There you go.
Oh, good.
No. So, yeah, I think it's interesting that the thoughts occur to you and you're not asking because you don't want to know, which is really an interesting way to approach. I mean, and this is from the same guy who was like internally critiquing Aegis security for allowing somebody to VPN. And you're like, I'm just kind of, I idly wonder if my AIs are sending information to my nemesis.
Do I contradict myself? I contradict myself. I contain multitudes.
I contain multitudes of Alicias.
It's
awesome. It occurs to you that you actually have a snail mail contact for her, a way to contact her, in that you have a PO box that she sent your stolen stuff to. That will probably notify someone somehow if it receives another package. And it wouldn't be monitored by Aegis because they don't know about it. So it's not immediate, but I mean, that's just a thumb drive in an envelope.
Yeah.
Something for you to ponder.
I'm going to ponder. Before I take that step, I want to think about it a little bit more and decide how much trouble I'm going to get myself into with it.
All of it. You're going to get yourself in all the trouble. All right. So now we're going to cut to Link. Link rolling up to the front gate of the Gale estate, where there's like a speaker box.
I'll buzz in.
Hello.
Hi, I'm a friend of Harry's. He said I could crash on the couch for a while. Hopefully, he said something about that.
Of course. Yes, of course. And the gate starts to swing open.
I'm gonna hear about that.
You got the text message from Link, and you were like in the middle of. What were you in the middle of when you got that text message?
A rave.
No, I was
Rescuing a cat?
a theater performance was just laying out, but it was the parking structure to the theater was like. Okay, so I was helping all the old people cross the road.
That's awesome. Just being good Samaritan Mercury.
So when you help old people across the road, do you like super speed them across, or do you walk with them at their pace? Because both would be hilarious.
Yes.
I like the it's a training that your mother had you do in patience. You have to go help out 10 people a day at normal speed. Your gifts.
It's like those really annoying quests that you have to take.
Yeah.
Help 10 old people across the
Worst
street at their
escort quest ever.
Collect 50 Nika-Breaker.
Oh my god. Worst escort quest ever. Slowest NPCs of all time. Anyway, so
They're walking into danger.
you eventually once you get them across, I like it at normal walking pace, because then you can't check the phone until you're no longer not rudely ignoring somebody you're helping by looking at your phone, and you get the message that Link's on the way to your house. What do?
Oh, sorry, I was distracted by Baymax.
Okay.
Um,
Oh.
Since my phone received the text saying that he was heading over, I'm like, I wonder if he's just taxiing over or driving auto. What speed are they going?
Well, it was probably about 5 or 10. I'm going to say 5 or 10 minutes since the message came through. So
I very quickly text my parents saying, "Hey, so my teammate crashed. I offered up our house because it's a good way to bond with teammates and show leadership."
Your dad
Right, Mom?
your dad responds on the same channel with "Good thinking, kiddo." Smiley face.
Eggplant.
Your mother responds with, "So is communication," and it comes through at the same time as your dad's text, so they're in different parts of the house. And she gives that she doesn't do emojis, she does text smileys. And she gives you like It's still a smiley, but this is the most annoying thing. It's not the most annoying thing about your mother, but she does smiley faces,
I
but she
lost you
does
again.
really?
Just a little bit.
Oh my god. So she does text smileys, but she does them backwards,
God.
right? So she did the smiley, the mouth is first. It's really weird. Anyway, yeah. So a good leadership thing, blah blah blah. So is communication. We're putting him up in the guest room on the second floor.
Have a second floor?
We have a
You
solarium.
see the size of the house?
We have a solarium. I couldn't get the South Fork thing to come up, but she means the one that's near your room. Actually, no, I take that back. What she says is we put him up in the guest house. And that's particularly appropriate because the quote unquote guest house is sort of oh boy, I'm not sure if this is actually accurate or not. This is how I remember it. It's sort of a Fonzie situation where it's a sort of a grandmother apartment above the garage. Does that make sense? So there's a place for Otto to park, and then up the outside stairs to like a room above. Does that make sense? And it's a disconnected building from the rest of the house.
They used to call those carriage houses, but yeah.
Carriage house. So yeah, it's like the carriage. It's a carriage
There's a
house.
link in the Roll20 chat.
Garage apartment.
Okay, so I'll get put up.
Yeah, perfect. Just the thing. So yeah, they much over their protest. Your dad, Harry's dad pulled out one of the vehicles that was in one of the bays. Actually, one of the bays is mostly like outdoor sporting equipment, like kayaks and paddle boards and a bunch of stuff like that. Tents and things. He just sort of clears out the bay so Otto can pull in there.
I'm just sitting here thinking, you can run on water. What do you have this shit?
Well, it doesn't get used. It clearly is like they decided to do like one camping out thing, and then it's just been sitting there in very meticulous but otherwise, unused storage.
Yeah, every now and then mom gets a bug up her butt about being a nice normal family.
And they said they're going to, and then she remembers that she hates camping or doesn't like getting wet unexpectedly. The key there being unexpectedly. Now, Harry, is she a speedster or is she more of like a weather person? Or is it a combination of the both? Is she like a lightning person?
No, it's a kind of mixture of. Okay, I wrote it down.
Speed plus lightning, or
I thought it was sort of a
wind and
storm.
Because she was Tempest, right? Wasn't she Tempest?
Yeah. Windy with enhanced speed.
So not as fast as your dad, but has a whole bunch of other utility stuff that he doesn't necessarily have.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Good to know. All right. So you get there, or Harry, do you go there? Do you head that way?
Yeah, I decide that it might be best to come home now.
Kudos though to thinking that like text first before running, because as fast as you are, it's not as fast as just texting real quick. So you get there when your dad's probably got and he's doing it at super speed, but he's unloading the garage as you get there. Link, I don't think anybody's really moving anything. Link, what are you doing while this is happening? I'm going to set up, his mom comes out, like they both come out to greet you as you come in. So actually, let's back up a bit and do that. So they both come out to greet you as they come in, and lot of sort of reads to you a bit as false bonhoming, but you're not entirely sure that Streak isn't just actually that way. You've had quite a day there, sport. Pretty rough day. So crashing on the couch, he's kind of smiles and jokes. Did your secret hideout get compromised?
A lot of things happened. Yeah.
Oh, and she kind of like, what's your dad's actual name? Like,
1 second. I have it all.
It's on the wiki actually. James Swift and Helen Gale Nay Quick.
Jim. So she says, when he says, did your secret hideout get compromised? She says, Jim. Like she knows that's actually probably what happened. He's joking around about it because that's usually when supers have to crash on each other's couches, and it's actually again what happened. Well, we don't want to. I tell you what, it's been a long day. You probably need something to eat. I know Harry's going to need something to eat when he gets here. I'm going to go in and make sure that we've got that. And Jim here will get you squared away and find a space for you and your friends.
That's really appreciated. Thank you very much.
Not at all.
Leo's mind, he's thinking speedsters, like the traditional speedster, yes, eat a lot. He's sitting there thinking, how big is your dinner table going to be? And so he's got this vision of like this mountain of food just piled to the ceiling. He's going to be like, I'm going to feel bad only taking one plate, but he'll go on.
Well, yeah. If only
It's really just a long
you
buffet
wouldn't-
tray.
You wouldn't need to do that because they would be able to prep it as fast as you would consume it. So it could be perfectly normal, just like incredibly sped up.
Yeah.
But it also burns more calories.
It's the island in the kitchen that's big because that's where everything has to stage. So, okay. He gets out there and he kind of shows you, he gets the light on upstairs. We used this last week for, my mom was in for a visit. We used this last week, so everything's clean and ready to go. I'm going to go downstairs and get one of the bays open for your buddy. And Harry should be here and he kind of like fades out as he takes off down the stairs. You hear the garage door open up and lots of clinking and clacking and stuff. Numa steps in, looks around. This is nice.
It's temporary. I got to figure something out soon. I don't know what we're going to do.
There are a lot of options. Any one of your friends would put you up. You know that. Although, well, the sleeping arrangements would be awkward with Charlotte, but
I don't want to think about that. Because in Leo's mind, that option is like, yeah, I'll just come hang out with us in the graveyard. He's like,
Let's go play Wake the Dead.
which isn't really a game in this case. It's actually research for her. So do we? And you hear Otto downstairs. Oh, this is great. This is gonna be. Can I use these shelves? I love shelves. He's talking to Streak. Down below. Yeah, you hear him down. Like he's talking about the garage space. So do you go into like, go down? It's like, no, we're just going to keep everything in boxes for now, kind of a.
Yeah, I mean, unstated here is Leo's assumption, which is you know, my supervillain dad is going to show up. Whose house is he going to wreck trying to get to me? You know, basically, who could afford to lose their house and or deal with an attack? And I did really want to put the Gales out. I don't want to put anybody else out. So that's
Wake the dead! Wake the dead! Wake
Back,
the
back.
Sorry. Did you find a video?
I presume she did.
You know, at some point, I think of this game somewhat like a duck in water swimming, because it's calm, relatively calm on the surface, and there's this frenetic duck paddling under the surface of searching for memes that's going on that nobody sees until occasionally the water, like the duck goes under and the feet are flailing madly in the air and you hear Wake the Dead.
I was actually going to say something, which is why I unmuted. I mean, if anyone's place was going to be attacked by a supervillain, the Gales would be the best. I mean,
That's fair.
the house has a security system.
That's designed to be attacked by supervillains. I mean, honestly.
Well, I mean, you know, the Quill Foundation has.
Yes,
got
Quill
pretty
Foundation
decent,
is Quill Foundation has had attackers. Sometimes they're super scientists, kind of a thing.
You guys actually want to see if this comes out in character. Let's make that happen.
Oh, the debate about who can take the attack better.
Yeah, go for it.
I like that.
I
Anyway,
probably have this over dinner, so.
oh, that's great. Well, yeah, let's wait on that. Okay, so Harry shows up as the garage is getting emptied out enough for Otto, who is all but rubbing his hands together, waiting to pull into this thing. Harry, what do you do? Link's probably coming. I guess we'll have Link coming downstairs or something, down the stairs again.
You guys, glad that you could make it.
Yeah. Things have been kind of rough. I really appreciate this.
Yeah, you know, however long you need, we can easily set you up. Having for it.
And the streak is like, yep. He comes kind of around the side of the building, sort of dusting off his hands and everything. He's stacked everything up, thrown a tarp over it, tied it down. Yeah, won't be the first time that we've done this. Certainly won't be the last, I'm sure, until I retire, and then it'll be Harry's turn. But yeah, this is familiar territory. So, heck of a day you guys have had.
Yeah, a lot of things happened. This is just their go-to answer for this right now.
That was, I tell you what, though. That was quite an aerial exhibition you pulled off earlier today, like this morning. I mean, if that had been the only thing that happened today, that would have been a heck of a thing. I mean,
what was this morning?
What was that?
It was a few weeks ago. What happened in the morning?
Okay, so here's everything that happened in one day. You and Charlotte went to the coffee shop early in the morning to meet with apparently a retired bearer of a shard of Excalibur for paranormal advice. Okay. You then went to school? ? Jason was not at school because he is still recovering from the fact that he passed out the night before while he was apparently researching something that Alicia had done in the base. So you went off to school. Meanwhile, Leo and Adam had gone to their school, apparently been attacked by a couple of people that were definitely from out of town. And that ended up turning into a fight over the city between them and oh my god, seriously?
Yeah. Link Court.
Star something. No.
Scene.
Good grief.
Shatterstar.
Shatterstar. My God.
Say
Uh,
before?
So the Shatterstar thing happened like right around lunchtime, which actually brought all of you guys together at that point, but also revealed, and right after that was when everybody sort of retreated back to the Quill Foundation. Link got some data or learned that the bot that had come after him was actually. My God, seriously, am I having this problem right now? Numa. Talked to Numa, did a little bit more research, figured out where that must have happened. That was at the airport, and went after that and went after her in a bit of a huff sometime in the early to mid afternoon.
And all these stuff happened.
Like
Right.
the last 3 sessions of the game basically have been this day.
Yeah.
I just couldn't remember where the day
Yeah,
started.
it started, I mean, for the purpose of things people would have actually heard about, it started with the fight with Shatterstar, proceeded to the airport stuff, and then from there to the press release thing, or the press conference, and now you're here and it's late in the evening. It's Monday, Tuesday?
Oh God, of course it would be Monday.
We'll say it's Monday. And I think, unless I'm mistaken, I think the interview with Tasha Starr that started this whole thing was like last Thursday or Friday. So it's been like 4 days. You guys bond
Woo.
quick. Anyway, so that's what's going on. But
I want downtime as a superpower.
and it's kind of funny because I mean it's perfectly normal for Harry to go, wait, what Ariel, what are you talking about? Which thing are you talking about? And yeah, you guys have had so much stuff going on. I imagine you wouldn't forget the fight with that girl with the star, the girl that looked just like your partner Concord.
Oh, thank you for reminding me. Yeah, so actually the person that you want to talk to about the balancing act was Otto over there. He did most of the work.
Really?
He could probably tell you all about it in detail.
All right. Well, that sounds like something. Maybe after dinner, I should get you in there. Your mom's gonna have a bunch of food ready, and she doesn't like waiting. It gets cold or it gets hot. Warms up if it's meant to be cold. Gets cold if it's meant to be hot. It's never good. So let's get in there and I'll get you guys fed. Nobody wants a hangry superhero. It's bad. It's bad news. It's bad juju. Numa, is it? Numa, do you eat? Are you coming? You're welcome to. What would
It's up to her if she does, but technically she can, so there's that.
Boy, where is she at mentally right now? I'd love to. Thank you. I appreciate the invitation. She's actually in this mode of it's not about the food. She's sticking close to Link. To Leo.
That's totally fair.
Yeah, right now. So without anybody asking, Otto's like already in the garage, like pulling stuff out, and Sigurd's like, "I'm good. I'll see you guys later."
I'll set my phone up on like a video chat or something like that, so Otto can kind of be there by proxy.
Okay.
And I'll bring that along with me.
All right. Perfect. He arranges that next to a couple of inexplicably football helmets that he's got that he's been like painting with racing stripes and stuff like that. So he sets it up in like one of the face guards for that, and you can kind of see that while he's doing all the rest of his stuff. Anyway, so you guys in there, your mom's got a bunch of a spread. It's again, actually sort of a buffet thing. She doesn't make sandwiches. She sets out all the fixings for sandwiches, salads, raw vegetables, pizza's cooking, but you know how long it takes the oven to heat up, so that'll be a few minutes. So start here, and we'll have more coming. Numa, you look lovely. You looked great on camera. I hadn't seen you in any of the other. Well, seen you in some of the action before, but carried yourself very well. You all carried yourself very well. And Streak's like, yeah, Harry, you were great up there. You really had him going. Laugh.
Thanks, Dad. I learned it all from you.
Yeah, even used a couple of my lines. Chip off the old block, as they say.
So I just want to say that Harry Gale's been very inspirational to me personally as a superhero, and I want to say thank you both for raising him as well as you have.
And Harry's mom actually blinks, like kind of like double blinks, like, well, thank you, Leo. Is it Leo? That's what.
Yes.
So we've gotten at a couple of breakfast at the very short breakfast passages we get as Harry heads off to school. Thank you, Leo. That's very nice of you to say. It's good to hear. This has been his first big step into the limelight with this sort of thing, or onto the big stage, as his dad likes to say. And it's we can always see what goes up on the cameras, but we can't always see how it works with the team. So it's very nice of you. Thank you. And the dad.
I know he got hurt a couple times, but I think he got hurt doing the right things for the right reasons, and so that was really good.
It's fine. He heals fast. We all heal fast, don't we? And he does the thing, like the dad thing, where he kind of does a couple of little like the little fake punches into the midsection kind of a thing, except he does like 40 of them. It's like so. He heals fast, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, but honestly, and they sit down, the eating goes on for a little bit.
While that's going on, I'm gonna have presence of mind to text both Concord and Jason to let them know where I am. Concord will just get also a note of, hey, I hope everything's going okay with your family. Jason's gonna get a note of, did you pass out again?
And this will be coming in like kind of after you've just made all the arrangements with the camera.
Yeah,
like you're kind of like you're done with all of that immediate prep that you talked about when this ping finally comes back up. So I'm saying it comes in a window where you could actually process it if you were inclined to do so.
Sure. I will text back. Noel, I'm awake. Glad you found some place to crash. Let's talk tomorrow.
Sounds good.
So it's either eating in silence or just random chit chat. You're probably not eating in silence. Harry's dad isn't very good at that. So it's just random stuff, various observations about that. So he'll tell a couple of funny stories that are very peripherally related to like stuff that you might have seen. It's like, I always had trouble fighting flyers. Your mother never does. We can kind of use that, but once they get up there too high, I mean, all you can do is really speed stuff up and throw it really fast. And then where does it come down? People start complaining about that, and physics, and mailbox accidentally landing in Raleigh, North Carolina. I don't know. Stuff like that. It is complicated. So that was a tricky thing. You're lucky that you can you fly all the time? How does that work? So that kind of stuff, you don't need to actually like go into any of the things. But he keeps that kind of patter going. as pizza comes out and sandwiches and Harry, what is your mom not making that you kind of like wish that was on the table? Her famous call to the Chinese place, or
all the Chinese place.
or rather, what is the thing that you like eating in these kinds of situations that she usually doesn't get because she doesn't care for it herself or doesn't think you should be having so much of whatever, or
Mozzarella sticks.
Pocky. Just cans and cans of Pocky. Jalapeno. What's that? Cheese stuffed jalapeno poppers. If there isn't, any, I don't mean to put you on the spot. If you don't have anything, that's fine.
Really good ice cream place just down the street. Kind of have an arrangement with. They keep in stock double fudge brownie.
Nice.
Ice cream. And just quick treat him back.
Yeah, you just kind of leave a note and they put it on a charge account that you guys pay off every month. So yeah, you guys, the food starts to wind down and your dad's like, so you gonna make a run to the ice cream shop or you want me to do it? You're faster than me, kiddo. Also, I'm lazy.
At least when it comes to ice cream.
Also, I'm lazy.
Theo, you good?
Moment? Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
I'll go get it.
So, Link, I'll say Link, I guess. Anything that we need to keep an eye out for? Any gotchas we need to watch out for?
How long do you have to hear this?
Well, I've got all the time in the world, really. But
okay, great.
But just I don't want you to worry too much about things. But it helps if there's anything that you think might be in your rearview mirror that we need to be aware of. It always helps to know ahead of time. Although we'll be fine if we don't.
So, if I say the name Russell the Minion Maker, you know who that guy is? Do you remember him?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a weird thing. We never really face him directly, but he's usually involved in things. He hasn't been around. I mean, he pops in and out of jail. Is he? I mean,
he's my dad.
And he was in the middle of saying, like, it's like, you guys have been busy the last couple of days. How'd you manage to tick off? And he just kind of trails off with his mouth kind of hanging over. One of the, his mom's kind of cleaning up some of the dishes and stuff and putting on rubber seals on stuff. And one of the spoons kind of clanks a little louder. Right. Boy, just chip off the old block a little bit, I guess, with the same. And she says, Jim. I meant with the robot, the skills, and when he says robot, she says, Jim, I am sorry, dear. I am so sorry. he is sorry too. He will be by tomorrow morning. I guarantee it. You're clearly also extremely talented.
It's okay, and I understand. It turns out that Rosa Rook has also been buying bots from Rossum for her security operations,
Oh,
and
Rosa.
she tried to kidnap Numa. So that's what we were doing at the airport earlier today.
Oh. Aegis story time. Sure. I tell you, I've been in that situation more than a few times where they have to kind of, put together, sew together a little yarn for us. Not because we did anything wrong and, anything. It's just more, you want to panic people, that sort of thing. Went after Rosa right out there at the airport. That's Jim. That's a very something to consider a little bit more thoroughly in the future. He's like corrects himself like halfway through. That's really something you want to be a little bit more careful about in the future. He corrects himself as he's finishing the thing. So you're not on good terms, I take it, with your dad. I mean,
it's complicated.
Hey, usually is. Well, you're welcome. I think we should be fine. I think we're fine. Like I said, we've never really tangled him directly so much as, like you say, people tend to use his stuff. But he's really, his stuff can be really, really. Oh, you remember that time back in '92? Oh, boy, that was that big. It was out at the SETI installations, and that thing it was like using two of them kind of like nunchucks. I didn't even think you could make them that big. That was a heck of a thing. And he starts going off on that. About the same time, Harry gets back with like, 4 quarts of ice cream. I tell you though, as you guys are doing up the ice cream, this is like a little bit of a. I almost feel sometimes like I was more put on, like knocked down on my butt by the press conferences afterwards than the fights themselves. They were rougher sometimes. You guys did pretty well, but
Actually, as a player, I want to ask: Did Leo happen to notice the interplay between Harry and Jason on the podium stage there?
I don't. You're gonna have to tell me. I mean, it was relatively subtle. It was a little bit more like forceful whispering, sotto voce kind of thing than anything. And I don't know where Link's head was, whether he was really paying that much attention to what was out to what else was going on. Or maybe that's where all of his attention was, on the stage and less on the press people. I'm trying to remember what.
I think he would have kept an eye out, if specifically because Jason, Adam, and Leo had just finished talking about the rightness of doing what we were doing.
Some of it was going on. I mean, Ghost Girl wasn't there, and Adam was not super communicative throughout a lot of it. So if they were talking, you were probably the one that was currently giving an answer. So some of that at least was happening while you were like sort of 2 steps forward and talking to the mic.
Yeah, and I don't expect that Leo would have heard the conversation, but it seems like he probably would have noticed Jason feeling or expressing discomfort of some kind.
Right. You did notice him going off with Waters at the end. And Waters, had given you kind of a high, give you the high sign, kind of pat you on the shoulder, give you the shoulder, the meaningful squeeze kind of a thing. But then he goes, I need to talk to Mr. Quill. Are you all right? And that kind of a thing. And then once you got basically the nod, he goes, I'll catch up with you tomorrow. kind of thing. Then he had hit it off with Jason. And Jason at that point in time looked pretty rattled before he ever even got talking to Waters. And in your experience, it usually takes about 10 minutes with Waters to get that rattled. So he started out.
So based on that, Leo's probably going to come to the wrong conclusion and ask Harry in a kind of a roundabout way, what was your opinion of the press conference anyway?
And both of your parents turn to you in unison and assume active listening poses. Like textbook Dr. Spock active listening poses with open, receptive faces and just wait. Your dad
Honestly, I'm kind of doing the same thing to pierce the mask, but go ahead.
Your dad actually sort of folds his finger, like interlaces his fingers and kind of folds them on his lap, and like crosses his leg over his knee.
Leans forward some.
Just a little bit, like, yes, son.
With a little kind of a pleasant expression on the face.
Exactly, that neutral, pleasant expression. Your mother arches an eyebrow.
I think we out of a bad situation.
Yeah, you might have bought yourself a little bit of extra trouble down the road, but in the short term, I'd say he kind of looks at your mom. I'd say that's fair. She kind of nods as though she's willing to concede the point and says, is that the approach that you plan on continuing to take with the press in the future, Harry?
No, I know how big a beast the media can be. We were all caught in a pretty bad situation. We're all pretty shaken.
Yeah, I was thinking more of the joking and the sort of casual attitude.
Of course he was.
What's that? What's that?
Of course he was.
Well, actually, that's the mom saying that, and the dad's and Streak's like, no, there's anything wrong with that, but your mom has a good point. Just if that's how you're going to continue with them going forward, you kind of set an expectation now where they'll expect that Buddy Mercury up there on the stage,
I know that a protector of people is a serious responsibility. I
love how you're using their lecture phrases back at them. I'm assuming that's what it is.
Of course.
The press is a beast. The protector of the people has a responsibility. I mean, this is so parental quote stuff, and I'm loving it.
But I noticed my teammates were kind of having a hard time of everything and I felt it would be best to have the media focused on me so they can talk all about Buddy Harry.
Yeah, tanking, says the dad. That he turns back to, that's what they call that in video games, like Harry's video games, tanking. When you draw aggro.
Take the aggro, yeah.
Yeah, he says aggro. It's an Australian phrase, slang, I think. Something about alligators.
Oh God.
She just kind of nods like, yes, dear, shut up.
There's a reaction image in Roll20 chat.
Should I?
Um,
Yeah, I'm sitting across the room from the screen, so Star Wars Episode 3. Oh my God.
do I have enough information to pierce the mask on Harry at this point?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can tell a lot about Harry right now. And also his family. Oh, okay then. That's a 12. All right. So let's pierce the mask. On a 10 to 1, ask 3.
What do you want me to do?
What do you need Link to do, Harry?
I need Link to get better.
So you
Figure out what's going on with him.
so your biggest need right now is figuring out what's got Link so rattled. Is that where that's where your concerns at? So are you still at this point in time right now in this conversation, do you see yourself as we're going to use not to use your dad's phrase. Are you still tanking for Leo right now with your folks?
Yeah, I'm trying to for Jason, but because like the team was having a rough night.
Yeah.
The family kind of thinking about that, seeing it, and then the next time they see any of them going, well, here's what you need to do because no way.
Oh, so you're trying to keep your family from pulling that here's who you ought to be crap with your team.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fair. Second question, how can I gain influence over you?
I think you already have it.
I know.
You took it away last time.
What's that?
No, Harry took it away last time.
Oh, right, because of the yeah, you grew. I don't remember what happened, but you grew away from the team last time, and you had to go with Link because you'd already shafted it with Jason. So what? Speaking more broadly, what sort of reaffirms the bond with Link in this situation? Not in this moment, but
Ooh.
playing up your superhero qualities to your parents, staying up all night playing video games.
Eating that god awful quiche again. I don't know if you know.
Quiche should really never be reheated, and yeah, cardinal error there. At least you're assuming that's what's wrong with it. If you need to think about it, think about it. You don't need to answer it.
I was going to say, in a kind of flip thing, the way to grow influence over Harry would probably be to him yourself.
You broke up a little bit. To do what?
To open up to Harry.
I see. Okay. Cool. Very cool. So that was what do you want me to do? Which is just basically get better. How can I get influence? Do you have another one right now, or do you want to save it?
I'll save it for right now if that's all right.
All right, that's totally fine. Cool. Harry, roll a defend for me.
Oh, they're gonna try and.
Well, let's just see how well you're doing it. Whether or not they do is sort of dependent on the defend.
Well, you know, Leo, I've been thinking about your problems. Maybe if
Exactly. What do we got here?
I successfully defend the parents.
Defend against the parents.
no,
Yeah. Defend against the parents.
defend
So
Leo.
when you defend someone or something from an immediate threat, which this totally is, roll savior. For NPC threats, I know, for PC threats, on a hit, well, they don't have to worry about the roll. You don't expose yourself to cost, retribution, or judgment, which is good. So basically, there's no like imminent threat there, but add a team to the pool, take influence over someone you protect, clear a condition.
I don't have a condition.
Do you have well, you don't do all those things. Do you already have influence over Link? I think you probably do.
Yeah.
Label shifting time.
Well, no, I don't think it would matter. It's not that kind of a deal. So you don't do all of those things. I don't think you do.
So wait, it's clear condition, influence, and what?
Add up on a team.
Oh, choose one. Yeah, you keep them safe and choose one.
Yeah. Team.
Well, actually, wait a second. Is that only for NPCs? Oh, wait, This is threats from NPCs, not whether or not you're defending NPCs for somebody else. Okay, so they're NPC threats. You keep them safe and choose one. So you either choose add team to the pool, take influence, or clear a condition. You don't have a condition. You already have influence, so you add team to the pool. I mean, it's what you got.
Yep.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. Do you guys have more stuff that you want to do in this scene? Because we got some other folks we should probably get to, but I don't want to dump you too quick.
I think in the interest of time, I want to see what else happens with other folks.
Yes.
There's more I want to come back to with this kind of context, but it can wait.
Okay. All right. Duly noted. We'll pause there, and we're going to have to do Concord towards the end because of what's going on. Because like he continues to cry. Unless Ghost Girl knows that that's happening. Anyway. So, Charlotte, you are examining gravestones, looking for the family names of these two individuals that you can think of that use the names. Is that correct? You might be muted.
Yeah, I'm not hearing you. I'm not hearing you in the headphones. No. Are you muted on the?
So many mutes.
She's reconnecting.
Okay. Hello.
No.
No. Can she hear
No.
us? She can hear us.
Yeah, she can hear you.
Grumble. Where's Discord at?
Well, I think it's not just you, because I'm not hearing her through the headphones. No.
Yeah.
No.
No. Shoot.
Sorry? Okay. She said skip her. She's gonna try to couple things to get in.
All right. All right. Um. Adam. It is about 11. So, have you ever had a dream where there were like unwelcome things in your bed? Not Adam. Well, I guess Adam might have too, but I'm asking this for point of reference.
Wanted things.
Like, okay, so I've had this. This is not as a random example, have a very realistic dream where there's like a nest of spiders in the bed. Okay, and you wake up and you don't want to move because you're still not quite woke up enough, and you don't want to move and possibly disturb this thing that you're not 100% sure isn't actually there. Whether it's snakes or spiders or whatever. So you wake up, but you're like not moving because you're like worried that whatever you were dreaming about is actually going to happen. I don't know if you've ever experienced that. You can imagine it, hopefully.
Oh, yeah. No, that sounds terrifying.
Yeah, it's great. It's awesome.
So kind of in that liminal space when you can't really distinguish between what was the dream and what's reality.
Mentally, you haven't exactly dozed off, but mentally you're kind of in that same space where you don't want to do anything because you're afraid anything that you do is going to make whatever happened happen again. So, and in that mental headspace, the door kind of cracks open and creaks a little bit open, and you hear the very distinctive, you would think you have found yourself reflecting on more than a few occasions that given the fact that she's so small, your sister should really be quieter when she walks, but she's not, because she walks into her heels. Like she steps into her heels really hard. So you hear her kind of thumping across the floor as she's coming over to your bed, and it's probably coming up on 10. She goes to bed at like 7, in theory.
Mm-hmm.
And she comes over and puts the palm of her hand on your cheek, like just kind of lays it there like facial patty cake. Adam.
And Adam's just gonna bury his face in the pillow.
Adam, are you awake? Adam, wake up.
It's like,
Adam.
Jordan, you're supposed to be asleep. Just go to sleep.
No, you're crying. You need, I came in because you were crying.
Yep.
And I woke up. Why are you crying?
And, oh geez. How does Adam explain this? It's like, he's just gonna be like, some bad stuff happened. Just leave me alone right now.
Okay, I brought in a friend, so you have a friend, so that you can cuddle, because you need to cuddle and make you feel better. Okay? So, that okay is exactly how your mom talks to her when she's like trying to talk her out of like a tantrum or a cry or something. That okay kind of a thing is totally your mom for a second. Turn over. You have to have this. Turn over. Adam, turn over. Adam.
And what does he turn into? Like,
She's got She's got a big stuffy bear with like super floppy arms and legs. It's not super big, but it's big for a 4-year-old. It's one of her bigger ones. It's her go-to sleep. She inexplicably, because she doesn't, I mean, I guess her preschool is like doing like preliminary language class, like teaching and stuff like that, but she named him Marone. Um, and you need to sleep with Marone. He is the best one for sleeping and cuddling. You sleep with Marone. And she kind of shoves him like kind of up under your chin and into your chest area there. Okay. And
Adam's gonna like reach out one hand and just like tussle her hair. It's just like just like things squirt.
okay. Okay, I'm gonna go back and go to sleep. Okay, you sleep too. Hug Marone. I get him back though, okay? She says kind of from the doorway, like way too loud. And you hear like your mom way down the hallway saying, "Who's awake?" And she quick scuttles down to her room.
Hello, hello.
Oh,
Hello.
yay. Hooray. So we're just gonna do you do anything there? Tell me how we close out that little tiny little mini scene there.
I think there's just that one scene where like, the bear's still squished up at where Jordan left it. That's like the panel. And Adam just like closes his eyes and he's just like, he kind of like just rocks his head back and forth. And then the next panel is him like with like both arms wrapped around
Marone.
and just like squeezing him really tight.
Cool. I like it.
Yes. Speaking of,
Yes.
would that be flinging yourself into easy relief? I think teddy bears count as easy relief.
Usually it's a little bit more self-destructive than that, like going out for a party or something. But I can certainly see. I mean, I think it should be comforting. What does easy relief relieve for you? Let's see if it makes sense.
That is going to get rid of hopeless.
I think that, and folks chime in. I think in this case, it's fair for a little bit of unconditional love from the family to alleviate hopeless. How are we feeling about that?
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
Only if he gets caught hugging the teddy bear by his mom in the morning.
I think that is.
I think that's a fair. I think that is absolutely a fair consequence. Okay, sorry, I was looking. What? No, that's not right. Yeah, Marone, Marron, is just Spanish for brown. Where your sister picked it up, who knows?
Preschool. Yeah.
Preschool. Okay, so we're gonna quick switch back to Charlotte, who is. Was it correct? You're kind of digging through cemeteries, digging through gravestones.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would actually have done some work in the library first to figure out, what cemeteries they're in. Oakland.
One of them is really the first thing that shows up is Wake the Dead. Really?
I think he's been waiting for that all night.
It's just everywhere. The one of them. So there's one of them is actually in your cemetery. Oh, I need a good first name. 1 minute.
Well, Joyce looks for that. Margie, do I remember last time that like one of the names or the nicknames of the secret society was this guy's horse?
One of my father's secret name in the society was his horse's name.
Don't ever tell Leo that because he's going to be like, God damn, ponies are everywhere.
That sounds like a reason.
That's the real power pony.
Okay, so the guy, yeah, I'm gonna go with this one. The guy,
Somewhere in here, I had a picture of
what?
Oh, the Oakland Oakland Cemetery.
Yeah, you did. I've got this.
His book that was drawn by actually a female artist who did some comic book stuff.
Right. Yeah, I think it's in one of those. I think it's in that original thread.
It was the thread's title was her name, I think. Yeah, I know which one.
It's probably on like the second or third screen by this point in time. Obadiah Everard.
But Obadiah?
Obadiah. Obadiah, and Everard is Everard. Big landowner, tobacco farmer at the time. That sort of thing. He is actually interred here. He's got a proper family mausoleum kind of situation. He died of I guess what would be the carry on thing like from gout? Like what's like that get like that kind of like it's liver poison, like liver failure? That kind of stuff? Kidney failure?
Well, gout is usually death.
Say that again?
Can gout cause death? What will happen if gout is left untreated?
Well,
Causes erosion and destruction of the joints. Advanced gout, because it's caused by urate crystals forming under the skin.
You're right.
And
I'm thinking of more like a kidney failure kind of a thing. Renal failure. So that might not be related. I was thinking of gout in terms of like exposure to lead, that kind of a deal. But yeah.
So kidney stones, kidneys. We'll go with kidneys.
Yeah, it would have been recorded at the time as bad blood. He was survived by 2 sons. One of which did not survive the war. One of whom, rather. The other one did survive the war, but apparently whatever killed Dad was hereditary because he died of the same thing about 5 years after the war. And that family name, although it seems weirdly familiar to you, he doesn't seem to have had any heirs or anything after 1910 or so. The family line, at least as directly descended from him, sort of petered out. There's quite a few other examples of Everard family names in that area, but they don't seem to any of them be
Yep. Related.
descended from him. And it's somewhat complicated by the fact that this was right after the Civil War. There were a lot of freed slaves, which Obadiah had, and some of them took on, when they chose their free name, they chose their owner's previous surname. So there was a mild spike in Everard as a surname in the area that were from like freed slaves, and it wasn't the only Everard in the area either. So that happened quite a bit. So
Okay.
that kind of thing. But where Obadiah is interred, easy enough to nail down. What do you do?
It's really hard to come up with some meaningful thing when, and says
When what?
when a little Dropbox thing comes up on my desktop saying that a
Oh, that I
GIF
saved
was saved on Adam Gomez smooching Morticia.
Sorry.
just saying, like
It was a Wake the Dead rabbit hole. Sorry.
I can only imagine.
what do I do?
I like Dave's comment here. I love that Adam, the youngest, gets to play off a still younger kid. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, yes, that is good.
Okay, so first I'm gonna go over to where it is. I'm looking at a couple of things. One is I think I would know if I'd met this person before, so I'm assuming he's not one of the more active
Yeah, no.
folks around.
Yeah, you're not 100% sure how you would even. I mean,
I got some ideas there.
yeah.
So is it and most of the graveyard's in pretty good repair. Is there any Kate, that there's any bit of trauma to the?
Yeah, this actually isn't very far from where you're at on the hill. That's somewhat generationally grouped kind of stuff to a certain extent. It apparently saw some damage from the shakedown with Dr. Infinity.
Mhm,
That
mhm.
because there is some damage to the thing, and they don't have any repairs would have been done by the city because there aren't any surviving family members that would have done anything about this. So there's still some blast damage along the side, like one of the doors on its hinges, but not solidly on its hinges by any stretch of the imagination. And random damage like that. Definitely related to that. In fact, it's really one of the few places that still shows damage from that big fight.
Okay.
Dr. Infinity.
Interesting.
Just because there wasn't a lot of repair that was done to it, because it's big, it would have been costly, and honestly, not a lot of people. The thing's kind of overgrown. There we go. Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Come on, Uncle Owen, wake up. Like that.
Lovely.
What? Oh, the
Oh no,
the graffiti, the floating graffiti.
no. I was just seeing the cards come up for Dr. Infinity and. Okay, so. Oh, number 47.
Yeah, they're all. It's from this deck of villains, so they're all numbered.
Okay, so
I love that the airplane is shouting "Wake the Dead."
of
Like what?
course.
Like what?
Now the only thing I'm surprised is that somebody hasn't put a Wake the Dead on top of, was that St. Peter with the cross on top of the central
Oh, that's yeah.
tower
Are
there?
people other?
Yeah.
Missed opportunity there, really.
Yeah, I'm people are lagging. It's my graveyard, so I'm not gonna, deface it. I'll deface Jason's conversation pit any day, but it's my graveyard, so.
So
Vacancy, really?
and you actually, as you're looking this thing over and you're looking at the mausoleum and stuff like that, you come to a bit of a weird. I don't know. You have to,
Conclusion?
well, revelation, really, because the name on the mausoleum door is Everard. And as you're pondering the damage and playing this thing over in your head, that's the Magus' name,
Right.
which is a whole wait, what kind of situation.
Yes, it is.
So
Okay. Okay, so we have two things. One is the site itself, and to see if anybody's still home there, and two is whether this is
I'm
somehow the
sorry.
same person.
Bake the Dead 420 YOLO? Really? Really? Oh my. Oh, okay. So, Margie, I apologize, but that
I saw it earlier and was trying to.
this is what I get for pacing around the room. I don't see this stuff until later. Okay, so
Get it all at once.
first the mausoleum. You were saying, sorry.
Yeah. So first, well, that thought is percolating. I'm continuing with my first impulse, which is to, go into the mausoleum, see, what else is going on there, and was to kind of, settle down into the earth here and see what I see inside the crypt, or cross over and see what I see.
Right. So you've got a couple. I don't know. You got a couple options there. What do you think? What do you do? What seems the most likely?
Well, I want to finish checking out the crypt.
The crypt.
I mean, I'm not seeing an empty, casket or something like that.
No, nothing like that. And there's a family crypt. There's a few other, not many, but there's a few other.
Well, I'm sure it was built with the future in mind, and
yeah, and quite a few of them are empty.
Go as far.
Quite a lot of them are empty. As near as you can tell, it's like Obadiah himself, the two sons, immediate family.
On the sons, was there any survived by notes on any of them?
Survived by wife. And from looking at the paperwork, like, survived by wife and two sons, that kind of stuff. But
loving husband and father,
Yeah. The one that died in war was not survived by anybody, so no wife there. No children. The one who lived about 5 more years was loving husband and father. From the paperwork and the records and stuff, and the thing was survived by daughter, and the records weren't awesome at that point in time, plus married name and that kind of stuff wasn't necessarily, what happened with all of that. So there's no really indication that name ever changed there. or what really happened with her. There's no more Everards of that line after that first generation. So that's kind of where things, and she's
Okay.
not interred here. The wife is, but the daughter is not.
And I'm sorry, did you say that Dad died after the boys, or
No, Dad died first. Dad died during the war.
okay?
Son died in the war, and the other son came back from the war and died about 5 years later. Like right
I'm
towards the
just-
end of the war. He died like about 2 years after you.
So I'm gonna ask an odd seeming question
Mhm.
because
That's never happened before in this game.
this is something I would have actually explored early on, and I probably would have. But like, what does my own grave look like from the other side? I mean, is there
Ooh.
anything that makes my grave look different from
When you look at it from like with
where, yeah, as opposed to like graves from where less active ghosts are, or just, you know, the rest of the graveyard kind of dirt kind of stuff?
yeah, I mean, some of it is interesting to perceive just in the shadow thing. It's certainly more bright isn't quite the right word. In a black light sense, I suppose bright is the right word. It was definitely the epicenter of the activity. It shows a lot more. It just was definitely like a locus, and there's still even now a kind of spiritual current to the air. Like it's sort of at the eye of a very slow moving kind of weather pattern kind of thing.
Okay.
You know, just there's like a swirling eddy, an eddy, in the emotional and or existential plasma of the area.
Okay. Remind me what happened at the end of the battle between the two.
Nobody really knows, because of who you're dealing with. They were sort of coming in and out of perceptible reality, or bringing pieces with them, and they haven't been seen since, which everybody's
Oh.
breathing a big sigh about. The assumption is that neither of them are dead because nobody's really sure that Infinity can be killed. And Everard would have been replaced by this point. And there's certainly been a number of things that have happened worldwide that would have normally involved or caused to be involved the Magus Supreme for the world, for the planet, if it were different mages. So if he'd been replaced, whoever replaced him would have shown up. This guy
So
wouldn't have shown up because he's a jackass. He doesn't give a crap about actually defending the planet. So if he's still the Magus and something happened that is like, this is the job for the Magus, he would be like, yeah, whatever. I'm in Bermuda and I'm busy. Go away. I'm in alternate reality. So the assumption is they're not dead, but they sort of winked out.
Okay.
And there was other
And
stuff
what's-
going on at the time anyway. So
Okay, what's the timeline on this versus Jason's dad winked out?
they're very close together.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you know. This is the problem. Their fight that was apparently a typical Supers brawl actually spans 2.5 weeks in the linear timeline of the city.
Okay.
If that makes sense, because they kept winking in and out, and they weren't progressing forward in time either, as near as people have been able to reconstruct from like security cam footage and stuff like that. So they were witnessed at various points but given the progressive state of things, there's like websites that track Doctor Infinity and like it's like that Doctor Who fan sites. In the real Doctor Who universe, where you've got like people's like, who is this man? Why does he keep showing up? Kind of a thing. And they've taken all the various gathered footage that anybody's been able to get their hands on for this particular tussle, and there's many different fan theories about the order in which these events happened. Like the first,
Okay.
go ahead.
Here you'll see the Magus throwing a
No, I
punch
just said okay.
that landed 3 days previous.
Yeah, exactly. That kind of stuff. So, but
Okay, I'm not hearing somebody.
Mike's example was, the conspiracy side saying, here you'll see the mages the mages throwing a punch that, and then they switch to a different shot, lands 3 days previous, that kind of stuff. So they were jumping back and forth in time and fighting over the course of about 2 weeks, but those 2 weeks contained the date of Jason's dad's poofage
Okay.
in Washington, D.C.
Okay. And that's something I probably wouldn't have put together until went through this logic thing. So I wouldn't necessarily know that right now.
Two things that it's actually fairly difficult.
Talk to Jason.
Yeah, there's two things that are actually fairly difficult for you to think about. Whether it's emotionally or aversion or something. And it's how you died and the events.
You mean the first time?
Yeah. How you died and the events that brought you back. It's just not something that's very easy for you to think about. Your mind wanders. You get ooky feelings. Take your
emotional camouflage.
Take your pick or select D, all of the above, but that's emotional camouflage. So
you're it's like you're the story, you've probably seen the video of where you're supposed to watch the basketballs and count how many times it bounces, and then they go back and show the video again, and you miss the bear walking across the court or whatever.
Yeah, I actually use that video in a class that I teach every couple of months on why multitasking is a con and a joke and should be avoided at all costs. But yeah. So
my brain will focus. Anytime I try and sort of go that way, my brain just goes over and watches the ball and don't see the bear.
You don't see the bear. So relative to that, the mausoleum is
less sparkly,
completely absent any psychic or paranormal energy whatsoever. It's like it's been erased.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's been Clorox bleached in as far as that goes. There's literally, not only is there nothing there, like the random eddies that would bring stuff through the area don't.
Okay.
Whether
that's it's a Faraday cage of some kind.
Almost. Yeah, something along those lines, or magnet pole repulsion, something. So,
but it doesn't repulse me.
You work differently. You can feel it. You definitely feel that. Honestly, it feels a lot like the aversion. It's like a slightly stronger version of the sort of thing that you have to overcome to think about those two things we were just talking about. It's not so much like you're pushing against a wall or a force field or something like that. It's like you just don't you're naturally thinking of other places to be, other things to do. You don't want to be here. It's also uncomfortable.
Okay. So one last question. How many sets of bones are in here?
There are, all the ones with labels have bones. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
5 sets.
Is there any, so from the little book of crazy secret occults.
Right.
Is there any symbolism in here that was referenced in the book?
Hmm, 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 hmm.
Death is only the beginning, whatever.
They, yes, they reference, and you're not, I mean, you can't decide if it's symbolic or literal, but they referenced extra ribs as the sign of the hidden family of the throne. Like
that's better than toes, I guess.
yeah, and you can't decide if it was like a Adam reference or
Do I have an extra rib? Do I start reaching in and counting my ribs here and his ribs, and how many ribs are you supposed to have?
These are all good questions that I'm not sure.
Look it up on Wikipedia.
These are all good questions that I don't know if a girl from the Civil War era would know off the top of her head.
This is all things I'm bringing back with me when I talk to.
Yeah, she walks in the quill technology.
How many ribs should I have?
How many ribs should I have? How many ribs do people have? How many ribs do you have? Why are you asking?
And how do I feel my ribs if I'm a ghost?
Yeah, that is also an excellent
And why
question.
is there this commercial where they keep talking about ribs? Is that part of the conspiracy?
What's a McRib? Is that a different kind of rib?
And what is
and do babies
ribbed?
have ribs in their backs?
What is ribbed, and why is it supposed to make people happy?
I was going the other direction. I'm like, and ribbed.
Why is that supposed to be pleasurable? Anyway. Anyway.
Oh, I want to so ask Jason that.
You don't know how many ribs a person is supposed to have, but the
wife,
the women, the bodies in the sepulchers, whatever, for the women have a different number than the men. And then you're starting to wonder, maybe that's the whole Adam story. Maybe men are supposed to have more. Again, I'm going for Civil War era like education levels where it's more like biblical.
No. I'm yeah.
Yeah, so maybe that's supposed to be right.
I could almost believe that in the Civil War era, people would know how many ribs men have versus women have because of the Adam and Eve story.
Right, but they have the same number.
I could be wrong.
I could be wrong about that too, but men and women have the same number of ribs. These do not. The men all have an additional pair.
So, men and women do have 12 pairs of ribs.
24 ribs, 12 on each side.
There
I
you
had
go.
to look it up too.
Yep.
A few individuals have 13 or 11 pairs. So it is not unheard of.
It's not unheard of. It is interesting and also probably hereditary that, obviously, that all three of the men here have the same number of additional rows, but they all have 13. Which, of course, mystical number, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, it was all very specifically referenced as, sign of the family of the hidden family of the throne of Urtovia, et cetera, and so forth.
Interesting.
So there you go. You don't know how many ribs you have, and God help you trying to figure that out.
I can go look at my body, but I don't know that goes into that ooey zone.
Again,
Does a genteel woman examine how many ribs she has?
I could go look at my body. I was like, what do you mean, like just count them? Like, oh, you mean your actual body?
Yes.
Blah. Yeah. Yeah, you want to talk about some aversion programming.
So there is a condition where an extra set of ribs is called a cervical rib, and sometimes called a neck rib because it's up towards the top.
Yeah, You have no idea.
of the chest.
You have no idea which set's extra. Jason would probably know. Link would probably know. Harry knew at
Jason
one
would-
point in time and forgot as soon as the test was over.
Jason only knows because Rusty made him learn all of that sort of stuff for field triage of individual.
Okay.
Otherwise, he'd be all, I can Wikipedia that.
Middle of studying for homework, Rusty comes in, sets down a gigantic rattling box, and
How
says,
many rings do you have, man?
he sets it down. There's a big clunk, and he goes, "Okay, boys, how to treat broken collarbones? Ready? Like what? Why?
And if you do well, I will teach you how to break collarbones.
Ooh." At that point in time, Jason is still confused, but your brother is like much more interested.
Yeah, yeah.
See, I would have
Always
thought that's
more
how he would have
studious.
started things off. He would have thrown the skeleton down and then been like, "All right, this is how you fix a collarbone," and then just break it, and then like, "Here's how you treat it."
This is how you set a collarbone. Okay. All right. So, what do you do? Assess the situation?
Yeah, I think that's the role. Get the hell out of here soon.
Yeah.
No.
You can certainly take a read of what's going on there and kind of
Wait a second. Our resident ghost is getting the Wiggins in the graveyard?
yeah.
Resident Ghost doesn't want to look at her own bones, okay?
Oh my,
There's just something wrong about that.
that's fairly true.
Jason, would you create an AI of yourself?
Ooh. Oh my God. Jason, you just out of the blue, for no reason that you've been able to discern, had the worst idea possible.
And if you did, which Alicia would he go for?
The 10-year-old.
Yeah, you know, this is beginning to get kind of weird.
It's
I think
beginning
I'm
to
gonna
get
stop
kind of
doing
weird?
This whole AI thing.
I object to the beginning part.
Man, I just came here to have fun. I'm feeling so attacked right now.
See, now the memes have become verbal, and it's perfect. It's really, really perfect. Okay, so why don't you roll assess the situation, see what we get. What do you got?
and remind me which one that is?
That is superior.
Superior. We can do that. Hey.
Flip back over here. Ooh, do. When you assess the situation, roll superior. On a 10 plus, ask 2. On a 7, 9, ask 1. So you are...
So I can see a couple ways this goes. One is we leave it at a miss, and we just say, you know, I fall into that Wiggins zone, and
Yeah,
or
well,
my
I've
mind slides off of whatever it is, you know.
Well, I've definitely got a thing for that. So yeah, we can leave it at the miss. I don't know if it... Because the thing is,
Fisher about this,
to move it up with team, you've got to have somebody here.
unless I'm selfish and steal a team point.
Ooh, yes. Is that how that works?
But I don't want to. Yeah, you can
That's-
steal a team
I
point.
can steal the team for the bonus. I just can't remember how. You
You,
gotta act
sh-
selfishly though. Yeah, and I'm not sure.
You spend the team selfishly, and you shift your own labels.
Interesting.
So you shift one up, one down.
I don't know that this is worth doing that.
Yeah.
I think I kind of like the consequences better.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Actually make the information more important.
There's a tremendous amount of weird creepiness here that would be okay. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna stop with you right here as soon as I drop this bomb on you. All right, so you are in there, and you're in this mausoleum, and you've checked out the bones, and you're like, I need some more answers. I need to see what I can do here. And you've already gotten a sort of a sense that, so you decide you sink into the shadow side of things and see if you can make. I mean, there's no psychic residue. You're beginning to suspect that maybe Obadiah is not around at all,
Right.
and you shift over
Obadiah being the senior.
the senior. I mean, it's possible that whatever connection they might have had to their body has been entirely eradicated by whatever was done to this space,
Okay.
which almost seems intentional. You shift into the shadow, except you don't shift into the shadow. You shift into the shadow, and something tears. I mean, it feels like you pull a rotator cuff or something, trying to, like, when you go into the shadow. It's like that kind of, not obviously specifically
Right.
to the shoulder, but that kind of a
I'd pull a psychic muscle.
internal tissue damage kind of a thing, which is a weird feeling for you anyway. It's scary. It's and the world kind of, rather than fading out and shifting to that weird lighting of the shadow, flickers, and you find yourself standing on the hill where this mausoleum is at, but the mausoleum is just shattered stone. All the graveyards around you are just are shattered, blasted. The whole place looks like it was the site of a offshore shelling, or something. I mean, that's the first thought that you think of as Civil War. Is you've seen some of the forts after the, they're shelled by, warships and that sort of thing, cannon. You can see the city in the distance, but it's the buildings are wrecked and damaged. The whole place has this sort of sepia tinge to it, and you're seeing Halcyon, but you're not seeing your Halcyon. You're seeing.
Does this more like kind of what does this sound like what Harry described
Yes.
when he like went to the bad prison?
Yeah, when he went to the bad place. Yeah.
The
It-
bad place.
It's definitely it. Yes, it looks exactly like what he described in the, like, with the city, this weird alternative city thing.
Is it Providence that you're trying to go to, Rhode Island? Where is it
No.
that you're being drawn to?
Who?
Pennsylvania.
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 But that was just to track down Alicia, and that.
I was gonna say screw Pennsylvania. We need to take a walk on the other side soon.
I didn't know that we could get there so easily.
Oh, easily. Actually, so, because, I haven't handled this kind of pain around in a while. First of all, make sure you take potential, but between the transition and the shock, I'm going to have you take a powerful blow.
Okay.
So you just roll there's a button up above your conditions on your sheet to say, it says roll conditions. And that's your take a powerful blow row. Both from the physical hit of it and the psychic, like, oh crapness of the situation. A 7. It's not terrible. So let's take a look at that. If only you still needed to clear a condition of doing something reckless without consulting with the team first. You would have totally. How does one clear angry? Is that just like lash out at somebody? I think that's just lash out at somebody.
Break something.
Or no, she's afraid. What is the thing for clearing afraid?
Running away.
No, that's not this either. Unless she does that now. Take a powerful blow. On a 7 to 9, you lash out verbally isn't really an option right now. You give ground, your opposition gets an opportunity.
Maybe she says an impolite word.
You give ground, your opposition gets an opportunity. If you choose that, I will just file that away and we will find out what that is next time. Or you can take 2 conditions from what just happened.
I think I prefer the the middle one.
The middle one.
Giving, yeah, I think that has more.
You give ground to your opposition
Well-
gets an opportunity. Okay. I think I have a very good idea what that's going to look like.
I mean, I think it fits well into how these stories are coming together. I think there'll be a wonderful opportunity for you to screw with me in the future.
Indeed.
Ah.
Indeed. Okay.
I have this feeling.
God, we just don't have enough time every night. I swear to God. Okay. So that's
What,
where we're
one
gonna.
second. So
Go
you
ahead.
did not change. I just want to confirm that you had not changed my. You hadn't marked potential for me, correct?
No, I did not.
Okay, so I'm full on potential, so that means I have a level in here, and
You
then
have
I'll
a-
mark potential.
Yep. So
Okay.
yeah, you've got to advance, and you have another.
Potential coming.
Do you?
Okay.
Oh, you were full up already?
I was full when I opened
Oh,
this up.
no,
I was full, so
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to confirm that you didn't add that last
Nope.
one. So I will advance and then figure out.
Yep. Advance and then figure out, and then you've got another one coming. Okay.
Okay.
So, Adam, sorry, there's just not enough time in every night. 7 o'clock the next morning, your mom comes in, and you hear her kind of go, "Oh," you know, and that kind of halfway wakes you up. And you hear out in the hallway, "Mama, I gave Adam Marone so he would sleep because he was crying. He cried like all night until I gave him Marone, and then he stopped. So, Mom, can I have Marone back now? Adam, can I have Marone back now? Or do you need him for school?"
And Adam's gonna be like, no, you can have Marone.
And she's like, "Thank you, sweetie. That's very nice."
That works.
So your mom comes over and kind of sits on the edge of the bed. She goes, "So, uh, she's actually not quite sure." And you hear a noise and you see that your dad's still standing at the doorway, which is weird because he should be out right now. He should be at work already or heading out.
That's just gonna make him feel worse. It's like
His shift is basically 410s every week, so he's on like long shifts. Your father and I have been talking, and we're not sure if this is an atom-sized problem anymore.
what do you mean?
We just think there may be some people that might be able to make some more informed choices about what's going on right now with this thing. It was pretty scary last night. She's talking real low, real calm, trying not to agitate anything. We're not sure. We're not sure. Have you seen Thor yet?
No, I have not.
No, I was talking to Dave right then.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Yes. Oh, so anyway, but so we're just not we're not sure that we all made the right decision about all this. Dad's not saying anything.
Oh man, I'm trying to think how Adam would respond to that. I think silence at this point is like a valid option. Because at this point, I just kind of want to hear what they're thinking, like what they're like, what.
You want to make them say it?
Yeah, what's their plan here? Like,
What's their what?
what's their game plan here? Like, who are they gonna go to?
Well, that's the thing. They're not entirely sure, but we thought. Well, what do you think about talking to the HHL to see about stopping,
So,
undoing this? What do you now? Don't it. We're not saying. We just thought we needed more information.
and Adam's just gonna be like, but I try stopping, and it gets worse when that happens.
No, right. No, yeah. But it's pretty bad even when you don't. Because this isn't from, and your dad's. This isn't from you not doing it. No, we don't mean that kind of stopping. Like maybe we could get rid of it.
Adam does not know how to take this. Adam is awfully insecure at the moment.
What you
We
think?
don't-
3 or 4 conditions.
We don't need to still. We don't need to do anything right now. We don't have to decide anything right now. We could think about it. Do you have any homework due? Do you have any tests today?
And Adam's just gonna like shake his head really slowly. He's like, yeah.
All right. Well, then it should be a pretty easy day at school. Ironically, or perfectly for your parents, there's not even the thought you might not go. It's just a question of whether or not the day is going to be difficult or not. All right. Well, then let's get you up. We won't have to worry about it right now. We can just just pay attention in class, take your notes, and we'll talk more about this later. And maybe we just don't need to have anything else happen. We don't need to do any more of that right now until we've had some more time to think about it and talk. Do you think that works? Do you think that's how long? Your dad's like, how long before you have to do something? Actually, what he says is, how long before it makes you do something? And that's the first time he's referred to this thing as a separate thing. Like the power is something else other than you.
And Adam's gonna be like, now that his dad's talking, it's like, I don't know. I mean, it depends on what's going on. Like it got really upset last night because they and Adam's like not going to want to talk about all the stuff with Aegis right now.
No, but I mean the thing that we already knew about that happened, where you have to use use it. How long before you have to use it?
And Adam's gonna be like a day or two.
All right. Well, then not today. And that's the tone of his voice when he says use it. His association is clearly negative in that word choice. Like he's talking about an addiction or a drug or something. So Dad's not Team Concord right now. 150% not Team Concord right now.
I don't think Concord's on Team Concord at the moment, but
that's fair enough. All right, so just I think it'll all be best if you just stay close to the ground. Just keep your head down. Look at focus on school. Talk to some of your friends. Let's not. We can just avoid all the rest of this for a little bit until we've had more time to talk. And she's actually shifting labels. She wants your mundane up and your freak down.
Can they just break into conceal, don't feel at this point? Just to,
There have been a lot of Frozen-based meme pictures I've seen floating by as well. So
I think
don't let it go.
I think Adam is totally not gonna fight this shift at the moment.
Okay, so mundane up, freak down, which I think both of those can move that way, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah. Right now I'm
A lot of
ones
zeros.
and
Ones and
yeah. I was about
twos.
to say ones and zeros.
Yep. Okay. They're gonna shift that, and then they're gonna, as much as possible, pretend that everything is normal. Your mom's gonna do her damnedest, pretends everything is normal. Your dad's gonna go, okay, well, I've got to get to work. He says mostly to your mom, and then kind of gets his hat on and gets going. We'll talk tonight. Oh, good. Can't wait. Yay.
Mm-hmm. This is totally helping Adam out.
You think? Because I
Oh, No, not in the slightest.
I didn't imagine so.
Not-
I didn't imagine
Yes.
so. Okay.
Yes.
So.
However,
Mhm.
I do take +1 forward and mark potential.
For.
I am what you see.
Oh, right. When
Yes.
somebody. Yeah. When somebody
Uh-huh.
wants to shift your labels and you take it. You do, as you're getting ready for breakfast and stuff, get the text messages from Leo. Whatever you need. I'm over at Harry's. That kind of stuff. I don't think you got anything from Jason necessarily.
Yes, when it comes
Charlotte.
to revealing secret plots, I don't think Adam is the first one on anybody's speed dial.
You might be the only one on Charlotte's available speed dial right now, though, which is super interesting because.
Oh no, it'll be even better if all of a sudden that's the thing.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get you in school and then have you start having visions of Charlotte calling out to you in the middle of the class. It'll be awesome.
Yes.
So Joyce,
Yes.
as I was looking for what move I wanted to take, I wanted to just put a bug in your ear for next time. I think this is a great opportunity to come up with a reason to use my unseen world move.
Move that you already have. Is it one you already have?
Yes, I keep forgetting to use it.
All right, I will look at it and we will start off with that. All right. We might have to jump back in time here. I'm gonna go around in reverse order. Link, you had one more thing you wanted to kind of visit in that one scene, if you can. What was that?
That would just be Link talking to Harry and telling him about what's really going on.
Okay.
And check in for support. The only other scene that I think we would like to do as a group is the merge, and I kind of want everyone there for that for various reasons.
Yeah. I was just saying you had one more thing you kind of wanted to do at the Gale.
Yeah, that would just be personal interaction. So
you guys just kind of go back out to the carriage house and kind of you sort of info dump on Harry a little bit and kind of
yeah, he's gonna be like, I don't want to be here for long because what's gonna happen next is that somebody's going to attack me, and that means that they're going to attack here, and being willing to take that doesn't necessarily mean I still want to dump that on people anyway. And so he's gonna be like, if I seem like I'm trying to get out of here fast, it's not because anyone here has pushed me out. It's because I feel guilty for bringing this danger with me.
Right. And speaking of the zipper merge, every so often, or Numa has asked a couple times about what you want to do or when you want to try to access that 5-minute patch that she's got on her version of her memory. So that's clearly
That seems logically done with the group, actually. So
yeah.
I was
It's just it's topmost in her mind at this point because she's got this.
I'm sympathetic. Yeah. Like I didn't see this much happening like much later than like tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Type thing.
Yeah.
So
And that may be. Yeah, we'll have to see how that all shakes out. But yeah, I think.
Well,
Go ahead.
you'll need to do that back at
Quill.
back at the Quill Ranch.
Yeah, so to speak.
Since-
So Harry, did you have anything else you want to get to or do
Nope.
before bedtime, coming up in the next morning, that kind of thing? Okay, cool. Jason, what you got?
A handwritten note. I don't know what this means, and I have not verified it, but I thought you should see it. Contact me. With a thumb drive in a FedEx envelope off to the
P.O. Box?
P.O. box.
That's very interesting, says Travelicia. But you're right. I don't think she. Maybe she doesn't. I don't know.
You know,
I didn't know,
I-
but I'm not a very good imprint.
if she already knows, I want her to know that I know, because I want to know more. If she doesn't know, I want her to know that I'm letting her know, so that maybe we can both figure out what was going on and do something about it.
Yes. That seems possible that that's why you're doing it. I mostly believe that. Well, I mean, well, I should probably go. There's some shipping manifests I need to take care of. If you're all fine and it's late.
Sure.
okay.
Just yeah. Thanks. Go ship things.
Right. She vanishes. That night you at one point, you don't know what goes on the rest of the night, but you dream about you're sitting in a classroom and Alicia is sitting up at the teacher's desk. You are just at a cellular level relieved to see is not wearing a sexy teacher outfit. She's just wearing her. You're like, oh, thank God, subconscious. Thank God you didn't do that to me, and I have to think about that too. Although the fact that you're thinking about it now has got you kind of thinking about it, which you're down that rabbit hole. She is
every 5 seconds.
she is lecturing about, or is she? Memetic programming. And it's one of those really annoying dreams where it's the same passage, like the same dialogue, like they keep going through the same loop. So it's like a looping thing where she's just sort of like, you get through the thing and you're like, okay, I don't know what to do with it. You're just sort of sitting there in the dream like nothing else is happening. And it sort of starts over.
Right.
So you get like a loop of her lecturing at the front of the classroom about memetic programming. And that's what you wake up to, is wondering, crap, why did I think about that all night? Because it seems significant. And that's the link that I provided right there. Alicia lecturing on memetic programming. Anyway.
Alrighty.
I don't
So,
think that'll be significant at all.
No.
all right. So quickly around the table, I will start with Catherine before she falls asleep.
I'm not going to fall asleep, but my computer may die.
Okay, so quickly then, Harry, did you go closer to the team, farther away from the team, or more in your image of yourself? Harry.
Closer.
Influence 2.
Link.
Woohoo!
Woohoo. We'll go right to Link then. Link, closer, farther away.
Further away.
I'm gonna stay closer to Harry because his family took me in. I feel like I have some shelter from the storm here.
And,
That's-
and thus you're leaving. And thus you must run away from it.
well,
For now.
nobody said it has to make sense. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm also taking
That
a.
makes perfect sense.
Human emotions. They're a difficult concept.
I'm up for an advance. In addition to +1 label, the other part of the advance is permanently revoking someone's influence. I'm revoking Rosa Rook's ability to ever influence me again.
Very cool. Very, very cool. That's right. You move a stat up and you remove influence from somebody. That is, I like that. That's
Yeah.
powerful. That's powerful.
Yep,
Yeah.
but you only get 2.
That's pretty cool. I mean, you can always, isn't there like it's only from the advances that you can permanently remove somebody's influence? Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you're gonna pick somebody, Rosa Rook's not a bad one.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty cool. I like that a lot. And you're up to
You're up to where?
I wanted that advance, but I never had an NPC that really made sense for it, and now I do. So
Yeah, that's really good. It's really good. All right. So that's the advance for that. And Harry already had influence, so Harry, you can shift labels on Link. So you have one more point to spend, but you still have the cap of 3 and -2 on stuff. But so Link, or Harry, whatever you think makes most sense. You can just put it in text chat or whatever.
Yeah.
Jason, closer, further away, more into your own image.
I feel closer to Alicia. No. Shoot. Let me. I'm sorry. I need to pull up the actual definitions here.
Closer to is you give influence to somebody, and clear a condition or mark potential. Into your own image, you shift your own labels. Away from, you just remove influence from somebody.
I think I need to grow into my own image, and I'm just not quite sure what that image actually is, but clearly there's stuff going on about me and my family that
definitely
I don't
shakes-
understand.
It definitely shakes your self-image.
You
a
and
little
your
bit.
Alicia's?
So I'm feeling a bit more ambiguous about the whole, Manichaean Quill versus Chin, science adventure, white hats versus black hats thing,
Right.
for obvious reasons. So I will need to shift some labels. Probably.
I feel like superiors maybe the representative attribute for that kind of shenanigans. Maybe.
Well, I was almost gonna. Yeah, I'm feeling like I'm learning a little bit more, so I'm gonna take superior as a plus.
Oh, okay, that makes
And,
sense. Boy, but what do you move down?
Yeah. I know more about the situation, but I understand less about it. So I'm gonna go superior up and mundane down.
I don't even understand these people. What's going on with them? Okay. I buy it. I buy it. All right. So that's there. Adam.
Yes.
You
So
got a text from, I mean, the main contact with the team is you got a text from Link, offering support and stuff. So
I gotta say, everything involving his parents was totally him growing further away from the team.
oh yeah, because they were definitely pushing you away from this whole supers thing.
However, I don't know who I would lose influence, or who would lose influence over me.
Waters.
But yeah, no, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. And
So, well, I figure.
well, you're accepting them moving your labels. I don't know how much you're accepting them saying, don't be a superhero anymore.
Well, that's kind of what they're.
I mean,
they're
that's
doing.
that I know, but that's not necessarily exactly the same as their labels. Labels are saying, just be normal today.
Yeah. But at the same time, after what happened,
Yeah, it's
and
scary.
everything that happened, I don't know that Adam wants to be a hero at the moment either.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
So,
know.
I guess unless unless his parents could like particularly call somebody out, maybe. I don't know
I
if
don't
there's
know.
anyone in particular that they would.
So here's two things that I can think of. Link is probably the most representative of your connection to the rest of the team.
Mhm.
So there's that. Jason and you did bond a bit just as you were getting to the press conference. And he's sort of the nominal leader. So maybe if you're distancing yourself from the team, you distance yourself from him as sort of a representative of the team as a stand-in. Going back to Link, he did sort of bring himself to your attention by sending you the text, but it was like a supportive text. I don't know if it's a bad thing or not. I mean, if I was gonna pick, I guess I'd say Jason as the representative of the team as a whole. I think.
Jason, you're the leader. Congrats.
So
Hey, I thought Harry was the leader today.
yeah, I mean, it could be, there's a couple different ways you could see that, Your connection to the team is strongest through Link, so maybe that's part of what,
That
happens
could be
there.
part of it.
That could be what you kind of,
Because the only other way I could see this happening,
because I could see it
is-
playing out as you like seeing the text from Link and then just closing, like putting, shutting your phone off or just closing the screen or whatever, clicking it off and just not responding to him because you're just trying to distance yourself. So that's the symbolic thing where you're pushing away from him
that,
as the one
that-
person who's reached out from the team.
that sounds good.
Yeah.
I like that one. We're
So-
gonna go with it.
So Link sent you the text and you just kind of put it away because you don't even know what to do with that. You're just gonna,
No, not right now.
yeah. Okay. So, yeah, Link loses influence. Dun dun dun. That cannot stand. I can hear Bill's.
Poor Link.
Oh,
Bill's
all the little shippers crying.
I can hear Bill's gears turning already on how they get that back.
No, I got a plan to get it back.
Yeah,
I heard 1,000 shippers cry out in anguish.
and we're suddenly silenced.
No, that can't be silenced. That's the problem.
And that leaves Charlotte. Ghost Girl.
Okay, so just an FYI,
Mhm.
I possession for my new move,
Ooh.
and that is the ghostly variation of when I touch a mortal object and empower it, I can roll a freak, and on a hit, use the object as a focus to do something impossible. So when I roll a 10 or above, it works exceptionally well, and you get an additional use out of it. On a miss, the focus is effective, but it has completely unintended side effects feel when
So
you
you
use it.
temporarily paranormalize some kind of
Mhm.
item or object or something like that.
Mhm.
So weird, ghostly, weird, paranormal interactions with all the tech that all of your teammates have. Awesome.
Yeah, and so
Or
I'm
tech other
sure that
people have.
I'm sure my not so secret, not so admirer is gonna love this the first time I do that.
Oh yes. More interaction with the mundane world. What possible problems arise from that? You didn't mention that this was going to be a problem. I didn't know anybody else could do that. I didn't know anybody could do that. I would have warned you against it if I thought it was possible. Don't touch me. Anyway, so that's a great. I like that advance. That's fun. And closer to the team, further away from the team, or more into the image of yourself.
I'm gonna say more into the image of myself, in that I did a lot of Ghost Girl stuff today.
Yes, that seems
And I
entirely
think
fair.
it kind of continues from the stuff I was doing yesterday on the research, but this is more kind of ghosty stuff.
Yes, absolutely. So shift your labels accordingly. Freak
Yep.
might not be untoward there, certainly, given that you've been doing ghosty stuff.
Yep.
Also,
I think
since
I
you
probably will.
might want freak up for that move that you just took too.
Yeah. So yeah, I have it at 2. I might pop it back up to 3, and then I think I'm gonna drop Savior because I don't feel like I've been doing a very good job of defending other people right now.
That's also fair. I like it. All right. Interesting. It felt like a Fallout issue, like the issue where everybody sort of deals with Fallout. Interesting. And I've never seen Link and Harry together, and I really liked that. That was fun. That was good stuff.
And Harry's parents.
And Harry's parents. We actually got.
Harry's parents were awesome.
I'm actually really grateful for this, not only because we get more spotlight for Harry, but also because if the senior Gale ever starts texting Link, like to keep up on him, Link can just ask the question, what does the eggplant mean anyway?
Oh, that's awesome. The door is open now. The opportunity is there. Okay, that's really good. There's so much good stuff. So much good stuff. All right. I think I will go on record as saying I think Adam drew the short straw on this one, but to be fair, he got stabbed repeatedly with a long straw last time, so we'll see.
He's still curled in a ball a little bit.
See if we can't level that out a little bit, but at least you're not sitting at 5 conditions. It's you and Jason now tied at 4, I think. Yeah. Whew. Whew. Youch. I think everybody Link's at 1, Ghost Girl's at 1.
I'm now at 2.
Yeah.
Oh, you're at 2?
I'm down to 1, yeah.
You're at 2. Ghost Girl's at 1, and Harry, scot-free, and
He's
0.
too fast to get a condition.
Just it's too much.
My vulnerability moment there backfired as Catherine dropped a bomb on me, so that's...
Which one was that?
Well, she got influenced, and so she tried to shift mundane up, and my mundane is peaked, and so...
Oh!
Yeah.
So you took a condition from that. That's funny. You're right. I mean, in hindsight, and thank you guys so much for saying it, the best part about everybody not knowing what the labels are is that kind of stuff actually happens with a lot more regularity. And it's good stuff. It really is good stuff. Okay. All right. Guys, thank you again. Wonderful, wonderful session, I hope, for everybody. Certainly fun for me, so that's the main thing. I will. The Tuesdays have been. Are we still okay for switching to like Mondays when the new year rolls around? Because that's what I'm aiming at.
Tentatively.
Tentatively.
I think that works okay in this household.
Okay. I'm looking at that pretty hard. Or Wednesday, I guess. Should that become necessary? But I'd kind of rather do Monday. But
either of those is still fine for me.
You were gonna say something, Mike?
Oh, I was gonna say, of those 2 options, I think Monday is more preferable.
Okay. I know Tuesdays are probably where our sweet spot is, but things are shifting around a little bit for me. And honestly, Tuesdays, I don't know. Tuesdays are really taking the wind out of my sails the last little while. So you know, I don't know. I feel like Monday would be a little bit better than that. I don't know. I do recall there was a long stretch when we were playing the Amber game where Monday was like our game night and everybody came off of like their first day back at work going, okay, I am really ready to punch the shit out of something. So let's play. So there may be, I mean, I can remember Dave walking into my apartment more than a few times going, okay, all right. I don't know that my guy is anywhere near where I can punch somebody, but I want to figure out a situation where that can still happen. If it ends up being
he's not a puncher. He's more of a sniper.
He's
So,
more of a stab from behind kind of person, but it was
Yeah, exactly.
that was actually what you said. I really need to stab somebody.